I just want to take a moment to congratulate you. I was at the ceremony 2 nights ago for when you got your star on Hollywood Boulevard. Well, I mean, it's a big deal.
No, it is. It's like I'm giggling.
Right?
It's such a fucking big deal.
It's a big deal. And then afterwards, Brian and I hosted a dinner for Daniel, and at the dinner was, cheers. We always have to cheers.
Oh, you're right.
Cheers.
Cheers.
You found yourself amongst some incredible women who have been like important people in your life.
Yeah.
Like Kathy Kennedy, like Amy Pascal, like Barbara Broccoli, Donna Langley.
Yeah.
I mean, it was really a moment. And, if you want to share your first experience on Hollywood Boulevard, it's quite funny. It's of a different time, but it's quite funny.
A different time. I mean...
Well, it's funny, but it's not funny.
It's funny and it's not funny, but it's worth saying because it's I think it's life is, there are so many meanings in a place, and there's so many meanings in Hollywood Boulevard for me personally, and for many, many people. The names that stretch out along that road are the people that, the reason I wanted to be in the movies. And the list is huge. There's some names I don't particularly like, but that's a whole different story.
Right.
But exactly. so and whatever. But to get that honor is like it's one of those moments. I mean, I was pinching myself the other night. It's bizarre. I know. I've lived in this town. I've spent enough time in this town to know what Hollywood Boulevard represents in many ways. But it's still a star on the Walk of Fame. It's like it's kind of magical.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize quite. And someone said this to me: "You will get emotional." And I did. I was like, "Oh, maybe I will." And it was very difficult not to be emotional when it was happening. But I will say this: when I first arrived in 1990 on the Hollywood Boulevard and got let out of a car, I didn't have a license, and someone drove me to Hollywood Boulevard and said, "Go on, then go and take a look." A naked man covered in his own shit ran at me. So it was as I got out of the car, and then the car just zoomed off, and I went, "No, don't leave me." I mean, it was intense.
Intense. The irony of
the irony and the kind of juxtaposition like that is kind of Hollywood. I mean, that's such a Hollywood thing, and rightly, wrongly, sadly, all of those things, it still kind of exists in some ways. It's whatever. But it is what this city is. It's complicated.
Yeah.
It's very complicated. And it's one of the joys of the city and one of the tragedies of the city and all of those things.